Well, then Megyn Kelly saw that.
I love his commentary.
Lord, help me. And she wrote this. Micro penis Mark Levin show is such a small man. He had to go to beg the president for a pat on the head in the middle of a war to make himself feel better about, well, you know. This after one mean tweet.
I can't even get down on what they're all fighting about, who stands with what and whatever. It's just too much, but they are fighting. Welcome to Go See Gail. Okay, sorry about this weird part of the room. This is where I edit. I edit on the couch in my living room. This is a part 2 of influencers are turning on each other. I learned from the comments, and I really do appreciate the comments, you guys. I appreciate the discourse. It's fun for me to see everybody give me their 2 cents on what they think about this topic. I learned that you guys don't like the word influencer. I'm sorry. Let's call them right-wingish YouTubers. Right-wing independent, but we know they're right-wing YouTubers. Let's just do that. Let's keep it clean. Right-wingish YouTubers. I don't know. Influencers just has a nicer ring to it. Okay, so where did we leave off? We left off with Megyn Kelly fighting with Mark Levin, and it got so ugly that 47 himself jumped in and gave his 2 cents on the whole situation. He pretty much backed up Mark, but he didn't say anything about Megyn Kelly personally. I know that Trump really does respect Megyn Kelly, and I know Megyn Kelly respects Trump because both Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro were both ripping on Megyn Kelly. She has her opinions. Really, she should be taking her issues out on the president, and she won't. She won't say his name. So Rubin and Ben Shapiro are ripping on Megyn Kelly. However, when President Trump wrote his, little piece on this argument, he also kept Megyn Kelly's name out of his mouth. Normally, he doesn't really do that. Even after the meeting between Bill Maher and Trump still ripped on Bill Maher. He's still called him a radical lefty lunatic. So you gotta love that he does respect Megyn Kelly, and I think that's pretty cool that he kept her name out of his mouth as well. So, all right, so let's take a look at what Trump's gonna say in regards to this fight. All right? Okay.
Mark Levin, a truly great American patriot, is somewhat under siege by other people with far less intellect, capability, and love for our country. Mark is tough, strong, and brilliant, hence the nickname The Great One, conceived by our MAGA friend, the wonderful Sean Hannity. After years of dealing with Mark in legal media and other...
Basically, he's just like, Mark's great. Like, just really love him. He's just so wonderful. And then he says, the people that are going against Mark really need to blah, 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 blah. Okay? You can read it if you want. Basically, he's kind of standing up for Mark Levin. Megyn Kelly gets like, did Mark Levin call daddy because we're fighting? And I don't know. That could have happened. I feel like that could have happened. But you can read that if you want, but let's keep it going.
Megyn has just gone this road and burned down so many friendships with so many people. That's one thing. But I do want to say that in my Mark Levin, I've done his show probably, I don't know, maybe half dozen times over the years. He's done this show, I think, once or twice. I've seen him at a few events. He is a really decent, kind man. And, some of the people that do this, they really get drunk on the fame portion of it, right? Like when people come up to you wherever you go and say things nice, nice things to you all the time, like you get filled up with some like kind of ego craziness. Like, look what happens to all these Hollywood people. Mark, perhaps out of all the people that I've met during this, this is not a guy that wants to be famous. He was just a lawyer showing up on Hannity's show, and they kind of forced him into this public career. Anyway, we're almost there. Mark Levin then saw that.
I did see a video where Megyn was ripping on Mark Levin. He did rip on like where he was in the lineup on Fox. And I remember thinking, I don't think he cares where he is. I don't think that he wanted to go into broadcasting. I think he's just a really smart lawyer guy that really knows what he's talking about, and they need smart people like that in broadcasting. It's just like football. You go and you do sportscasting for football. He's just one of those guys that's good for reporting.
Responded, Mr. President, I am beyond humbled by your words and graciousness in writing such a beautiful note and sharing it on Truth Social. I'm honored that you took the time to write it. Your courage, strength, and moral clarity are truly unparalleled, and your leadership has made our country and the world much safer. But both you and what you are doing deserve our support, and I will not be intimidated or bow to threats. Through your insight and steady hand, America has been made great again. It is an...
Okay, so these two, so Mark Levin is just like, hey, Mr. President, thanks for backing me up. But I feel like Megyn Kelly's right because she said that he, went to the president and was like, "Well, like, stick up for me." I have a feeling he said, "Say something because she's pissing me off." I just think he did. I don't know. It's just one of those things where, like, what do you guys think? Do you think that he called him? If you're into this kind of stuff, it's very interesting to watch them all fight. I can't even get down on what they're all fighting about, who stands with what and whatever. It's just too much, but they are fighting.
An enormous honor to know you as my family, and as my family and I do, and call you Mr. President, our friend. You're one of a kind, truly remarkable. Well, then Megyn Kelly saw that.
Love this commentary.
Lord help me. And she wrote this. Micro penis Mark Levin show is such a small man, he had to go to beg the president for a pat on the head in the middle of a war to make himself feel better about, well, you know. This after one mean tweet about him following his 111 nasty, nonstop, personal, misogynistic attacks on me. Fox has an obsessed harasser on its hands. Just like all the feckless, weakling bullies, Micro can dish it out, but he can't take it. After just one post, putting the so-called great one in his place, he ran to crying daddy. Obviously, there's no evidence that Mark Levin ran to Donald Trump and asked him to defend him. I think Trump is paying attention to TV hosts and influencers and the wars and everything else, so I don't think Mark Levin was like, "You've got to say something about Megyn Kelly" or anything else.
I think he did.
But Megyn,
I think he did.
I don't care if we disagree on any of this stuff. And it's the same thing that I would have said to Tucker if he would have ever had the balls to talk to me after he started going this road. Who cares about political disagreements? Oh my God, you have a foreign policy that's this and I have a foreign policy that's that.
Political disagreements, it's what ends like most friendships and relationships, especially out here in California. I've lost plenty of friends because I became very open about my politics. And it was like, how can you not? How can you not?
Literally on abortion. Or I debated gay marriage with Ben Shapiro. Like, you can have all of these disagreements. It's when people start unmasking themselves and just becoming so unprincipled and nasty and everything else. Anyway, here's a bit more.
I like thinking about so many friends that I was just friends with. And I used to tell them, don't look at my channel. Like, it's just going to make you mad. It shouldn't change the fact that, we have so much love for each other. I love you. You love me. You can think that I'm dumb for supporting Trump, and I can think that you're misunderstood because you support Biden, Kamala Harris, that knucklehead, the Minnesota guy, Tim Walz, the corrupt, siphoned billions of dollars out of taxpayers for the Somalians so that he could rig the election in his state. Yeah, they're great politicians. They're great.
More from Ben on Megyn.
Would be her continued complete moral betrayal of Erica Kirk to kiss Candace Owens' ass, even as she cosplays as the brave woman standing up against censors who don't exist. She says she'll die before she bends the knee to those who criticize Candace Owens. Which is why, for example, sadly, Megyn Kelly continues to pretend she's the vanguard of the conservative movement, citing, wait for it, her YouTube numbers. I'm going to get into a contest of comparing statistics on episode day.
Okay, basically he bitches because Megyn Kelly talks about her numbers being better for whatever reason. I don't know what is going on with Megyn Kelly. She's so above this. I just don't get it. This ego trip that's going on with her right now. I'm not going to knock her too much. I really love her. I love all these people. I feel like they're all like my heroes, It's just crazy that they're all fighting. Come on, guys. When you guys fight, we don't win elections.
Specific examples of Megyn's behavior and how she has changed, right? Like, he's not talking about the size of her vagina or anything else, right? He's giving you specific examples. And by the way, what started, now that this is all so burned so much, what started all of this was that basically about Charlie was killed 6 months ago. About 5 months ago when Candace Owens was going crazy on Erica Kirk, when that really started and ramped up and went nuts, a lot of people were just saying to Megyn, "Hey, how come you're not commenting on that?"
And that was
they weren't attacking her. They weren't.
That was his thing. That was his big beef with Megyn Kelly. That's what ended their friendship. And then she just went ballistic on him. Maybe she's going through the hardcore part of menopause. Your hormones get all crazy. And I don't want to attribute it to that, but simple communication can unravel these arguments. You know, even if it's uncomfortable, I think everybody in this party is smart enough to be able to communicate effectively with each other. That's what they do for a living.
Calling her names or anything else. I saw this. Respectable people that are on a lot of these types of shows that are public people, not just random Twitter people, but there were plenty of random Twitter people too, and their voices are important too. We're just saying, Megyn, why don't you comment on that? Why are you afraid to, you talk about all these women all day long, and her line was, well, I don't want to talk about a young mother, but she'll go after Meghan McCain, who just had a kid. She'll go after Meghan Markle all the time. Apparently she goes after people named Meghan all the time. So I think that's some of the disconnect there. What Ben pointed out was that she seems to change as she sees the winds changing. A lot of people have brought up this video. This is Megyn on NBC in 2018.
People with me on stage right now are all transgender kids who want others to know it is possible to transition socially with love and support and acceptance.
All those transgender kids are on the stage, and Megyn Kelly is 47 there. I don't know if she had the carte blanche to always be able to come up with the topics for the shows, or if she had creative control. Did she have creative control that way? I don't know. But it was also a new topic, and back then, nobody really knew what was involved in all of that. Now, as we get more and more information, we know that it's kind of messed up to mutilate children. I don't know if she had creative control over that. Maybe they were just like, hey, Megyn, this is the topic of the day. So, and then she's also, it's not her own, I mean, it's her show, but it wasn't her show the way it's her show now. She has full creative control of her show now. So she gets to say exactly how she feels. So you can't knock her for that. And so Ben Shapiro saying, like, you didn't care about trans children, back when you were 47, and now you're 50-something and you care. And it's like, I think that's a weak argument.
And I was never in on that gender craziness. Like, that was like a whole other level of crazy that she was in. But that the reason I'm showing you that is a lot of people are pointing out that illustrates she goes where the winds go, right?
True.
That is what she does.
She might not have
I do
had
want to
creative
bring
control.
up, this is just purely for fun for just 1 second, but because Megyn is going crazy about the numbers of the shows and that she beat Ben with some YouTube numbers, which, by the way, Ben also has
It's so funny. He's gay, This is just so off topic. And I absolutely love Dave Rubin. He is my favorite. He's become my favorite this year, and it can change. But he is my favorite because he is just strong and polished, and he's very well informed. I think he's so sexy, but he's gay. I mean, you can still be gay and sexy. It's just, I usually find men that are sexy to be people that are heterosexual, that like women. But I just find him to be so damn sexy.
And it's not about numbers. Like, numbers don't equal morality, but nonetheless, we had Joseph check, and for the 3 days before she put that tweet up, the Rubin report did beat the Megyn Kelly show in our last 20 videos published. So.
All right, you guys, that was part 2 of right-wing influencer wars. They are turning on each other. I had to abruptly stop the video because I'm having issues with this stupid microphone, the mute button. I keep hitting it, or the cat hit it, and it's kind of busting out on me, and it's an old microphone anyway. I need a new microphone is what I'm trying to say. But let me know what you guys think about all this foolishness between all of these influencers out there, or right-wing and independent YouTubers. Let me know what you guys think about this infighting. There could be a part 3. I did have more to go, but I had to stop it because I couldn't hear myself. You're probably like, that's a good thing. Shut up. And we're going to talk about Nick Shirley next. The part 3 will come up a little later. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.